All right, everyone, welcome back to another Game Vault video. Looks like we are taking a big fat W today with Avowed. Let's cue up the music and we're going to talk about this one. All right, so it looks like Avowed backtracks on pronoun display as Obsidian art director Matt Hansen maintains social media silence after his outburst at Elon Musk. You'll remember this from a few months back when he got all pissy on what was it, Blue Sky, the Twitter for the pedos and LGBT community and all the other weirdos. The alternate to X, when he went out there and bragged about pissing off Elon Musk because he put pronouns in Avowed. Now, we all know pronouns are the gateway to other LGBT content in video games. It leads to games like Concord. It leads to games like Veilguard, stuff like that. And it's stupid. It's silly. I don't know whoever came up with this whole personal pronoun crap, but it's one of the most insane things I've ever seen. And one day history is going to look back at this era and they're going to be like, humanity was a bunch of morons back then. What the hell? It's kind of like when we look back at how we used to burn women and call them witches. That's how they're going to look back at us and be like, people used to make up their own pronouns and make up their own genders. What's wrong with them? That's not right at all. Yeah, that's how it's going to look up. Because you're going to dig up your skeleton. It's either going to be a dude or a girl. No matter what you did in life, if you were born a male, that skeleton's going to be a male skeleton. I'm sorry. There's no way to change that kind of stuff. But anyway, let's look at this story a little bit and see what happened here. Avowed, the highly anticipated first-person RPG, well, from some people, from Obsidian Entertainment, is currently out in early access, and players have already discovered a major concession concerning the pronoun features. Despite months of controversy and bold rhetoric from art director Matt Hansen, who looks kind of like Meathead from All in the Family, it's now possible to disable pronoun display in the game settings. This discovery was first reported on X by Mark Kern, aka Grums. We win again. Avowed forced to add option to disable pronouns in game. Whatever Matt Hansen was threatening with the default and putting wokeness in the game, he's been soundly rebuked. He hasn't posted to social media in 2 months. He's sitting there crying in his little corner, probably, all upset about how this happened to him. I'm sure blaming everybody, blaming the chuds that he didn't get his way. Kern's been a longtime critic of DEI initiatives in gaming. He didn't stop there. He doubled down, pointing out that while the option to remove pronouns is a victory for players, the larger issue of Hansen's leadership and behavior remains unresolved. And this is the bigger picture. He says, even if they added an option to remove pronouns, I can't support a studio that does nothing when their art director espouses racist and illegal hiring practices and froths at the mouth to basically own Elon, Kern stated. The attitude needs to be eliminated from AAA. Vote with your wallets. Hansen previously made waves with his aggressive social media campaign against Elon Musk, mocking the billionaire's criticism of pronouns in video games. He posted that his game would push players' buttons and hinted at a provocative default setting. All right, let's stop for a second here. So yeah, these guys like Matt Hansen are clowns. They really are. They are the bottom-feeding scum of game developing activists. And right, even though, so kudos to Obsidian. I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. Obsidian did the right thing. And this is all we ask, really, in gaming at this point in time, is to let stuff like this be a feature that is optional, right? To be able to turn it off, or even more importantly, and I think this is the way it should be, to turn that feature on if you want it. It should not be defaulted on. It should be default off. Just like, what do you call it? When you turn the screen and all that, the motion blur. Motion blur should always be off. And so should pronouns always be off. Turn it on if you want it, right? That's my thought. And that way it's there if people want it. They say, oh, you know what? I want to put pronouns in there. I like that kind of stuff. I have no ill will for you if you want that in your game. That's fine. I don't want that crap in my game. I don't want personal pronouns in my game. It's unnecessary. It's silly. And I think it's just infantile, But hey, if you like it, you want it in your game, you spent your $70 or whatever on your game, you want to play it that way? Fine, play that way. I don't care. Just don't force me to play with that political ideology. That's all I ask, right? But so kudos to Obsidian for doing that. But, this is a bigger problem here with Hansen. And, he's a real dirtbag. The art director for Obsidian on Avowed wants to piss gamers off on purpose. He confirms the game's woke. Speaking of Elon, he says, just wait until you see the default, you sad little shit. He's over on Blue Sky plugging the game, just plugging the game basically to everybody. However, with early access release of Avowed, it's clear Hansen's posturing amounted to little. Players can easily disable the pronoun system he touted as a challenge to the gaming community. The promised defiance has crumbled under player pressure, and Hansen has vanished from social media, having not posted for 2 months. He should get canned from the company. While Hansen may be off social media, he remains firmly in place at Obsidian, where his controversial hiring practices are still reportedly ongoing. This is where the real problem lies. His past comments in which he prioritized hiring based on race and expressed open hostility towards white applicants were widely condemned and flagged as potentially illegal under U.S. labor laws. Now, if you wonder if something's right or wrong, all you have to do is replace a word in your statement. If you say, I prioritize hiring this type of person, black people, for instance, right? And you say, well, there's nothing wrong with that. But then you replace the word black with white and you have a problem with it. Well, then there's something wrong with it, right? If you say, well, I prioritize hiring women and promoting women within this company, and then you replace women with men, well, then there's something wrong with what you're saying, okay? This is just the way it works. It's just like if you get mad at the current regime for, executive orders, but you didn't get mad at the last one for executive orders, you're a hypocrite, and that's what I see. So much hypocrisy. It's disgusting. I see it all the time. I see it in the comment section all the time. Clowns that'll come in and all they'll do is throw insults, but they won't have a real discussion about stuff like this because they know they don't have an argument. They're ignorant, first order thinkers, and all they're doing is they're just mad now. They're mad because they're losing the culture war. Culture has shifted and they're being shoved back down to the bottom where they belong. They complain about being marginalized and they push. They wanted too much, man. You know what? We were fine. We accepted you. We were cool. We're like, all right, you guys are cool. You exist. Fine. Yay. Whatever. Woohoo. But we're not going to celebrate you and we're not going to overrepresent you and put you everywhere and put you up on pedestals. Nobody gets that. All right. Shut up. God. Anyway. So yeah, one of the things he said was, too many crusty white dudes in this field, Hansen said previously. Please let me help you replace me one day. Yeah, I'll replace you, buddy. These admissions have sparked calls for legal action, with Obsidian co-founder Chris Avellone urging rejected applicants to pursue discrimination lawsuits. Wow. Even Elon Musk brought Hansen's statements to attention of Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella, highlighting the severity of the issue. The gaming community has been vocal, with many echoing current sentiment that Hansen's behavior is emblematic of a deeper problem within AAA studios. Some players have decided to boycott Avowed, myself included, stating that simply adding a toggle for pronouns isn't enough to undo Hansen's harmful rhetoric and discriminatory practices. Again, step in the right direction, but this guy needs to go. Others argue that the presence of a toggle is proof that the studios are starting to listen to their player base. They view it as a win for customer choice, even if it comes on the heels of controversy. Despite Hansen's social media disappearance, there's been no sign that Obsidian or Microsoft plan to take action against him. Hansen remains employed, and his ideological grip on the studio's hiring practices appear unchecked. With Musk's spotlight on the issue and a possible legal battle looming, however, the situation may yet escalate. Maybe the government ought to take a look at him. I really don't want that. I hate government involvement and stuff like this. I think the company needs to self-regulate and can this guy. And I think everybody that did not get a job there that's white and male needs to start a class action lawsuit. They'll probably shut down the studio if they hit him hard enough. And and win that case. I mean, sorry, man, but you can't practice stuff like that. And that would end up getting Matt Hansen blackballed in the industry because, he would have single-handedly destroyed that company. And then he'd be basically kryptonite. No one would want to touch him. Anyway, the saga of Avowed now stands as a cautionary tale of how hubris, ideology, and defiance of player sentiment can collide with market realities. While Hansen may have gone silent, the controversy surrounding him is far from over. What do you guys feel about allowing players to toggle the pronoun settings? Do you think it should be Do you think it should be a default of on or off? Let me know in the comments, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Ring that bell for notifications. We'll be here every day. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, peace.